Legend has it that the Christmas tree was first brought indoors during the 16th century. In those early days, lighted candles were used to simulate the stars. The custom took hold in the German Rhineland, and 200 years later, it had spread all over Europe. The tree was first used in the United States about the time we gained our independence. Popularity of the custom in this country spread rapidly, and with the development of electric lighting, the stars gleamed anew. Today, from the Pacific coast eastward, across the northern tier of states to New England, in the south and southwest stand these trees. Trees for the mills, trees for beauty, for the protection of our watersheds, the shelter of wildlife, serving us in many ways. Call them balsam, spruce, hemlock, Douglas fir, cedar, pine. Call them Christmas trees. In the United States alone, we harvest over 20 million every year.
Say there, cutting so many young trees, isn't that rough on the forest?
No, when it's done properly, it's good, sound forestry practice. Nature will often plant these trees 10,000 to the acre. That leaves little room for their roots. Not enough light, air, and space for them to grow. Many more trees are destroyed by overcrowding, insects, and disease than are cut for Christmas. The dead and dying trees become tinder for fire, which can mean complete destruction. And of course, trees needed for scenic beauty, shade, and rest for the traveler should never be cut for Christmas. Many Christmas trees first start life in federal, state, and private-operated nurseries. Trees from private and state nurseries are sold to farmers and other landowners who plant them on idle acres not suited for pasture or growing other farm crops. This stand was planted primarily to stabilize the sandy soil and to stop its drift over adjoining crop and pasture lands. With the advice of the local forester or county agricultural agent, farmers planted seedlings at the rate of about 1,000 to the acre. The trees did their job. In addition, the first Christmas tree harvest, 14 years after planting, $1,000. And in the years, more than double this amount. And trees remain to provide the soil stabilization and shelter that the farmers were after in the first place. On many of the 152 publicly owned national forests, Christmas trees, as well as big timber, are grown under long-term management plans. The sale of these trees and other national forest products means local jobs because the cutting and marketing is done by private operators. 25% of the money the government receives is returned to the county where the trees grew. Nine out of every 10 Christmas trees come from privately owned lands. Half from the large forest tracts, and the other half from farm woodlands, affording the small operator and farmer an opportunity for a continuing seasonal income if he handles his woodland wisely. It adds up to a $20 million industry at wholesale, more than double that at retail. It is an industry that must get its wheels rolling early. The operators must seek out farmers and other owners of forest lands. They must buy the right to cut trees for Christmas, make plans for cutting, and arrange for their labor. The days to Christmas must be counted months ahead. The proper harvest in the natural forest and in most Christmas tree plantations is really a thinning operation. Trees should be selected for cutting with an eye to the best spacing for those that will be left, a practical technique which leaves the forest in better growing condition after cutting than before. Sometimes small trees are topped, leaving the roots, trunk, and lower branches to grow new trees. The new trees are called turn-ups. This method, known as stump culture, requires time and care. The actual cutting of Christmas trees is often started early in October. The operators can't afford to let the snows lock their trees in the forest. Besides, some of the trees must travel far to reach the market. Fresh from the forest, the trees are taken to concentration yards. Here they are sorted, graded, and bundled for compact and safe handling. Soft limb spruce and balsam are tied by hand. The stiffer limbed pines require special devices to hold them for tying into tight bundles. Cut from the lower portions of larger trees, boughs that otherwise would be waste are in demand for Christmas decorations. Their sale means added revenue. When the trees have been cut with an axe, they are butt trimmed for better appearance and ease of handling. The next move carries the trees to shipping points where transportation has been arranged. A last-minute check on the market situation may show a glut of trees moving to one point, so shipments are often rerouted. And then, perhaps from 100 miles away, perhaps 1,000, the trees get to the market centers. And now, just one step from the scene of their final glory. Pop didn't bring his axe. He brought the car to fetch home the family tree. So home she goes. A fresh butt cut, for the tree can still absorb plenty of water. With a sprinkling on the boughs and stored in a cool, shady place, the tree stays fresh and aromatic. These measures go a long way reducing fire hazard. And so the Christmas tree finally comes into its own. What more wonderful destiny for a tree than this?